In this lesson, we're going to look at solving equations by combining like terms. Now, what do we mean? And this lesson is going to be a little bit different. I will suggest every now and then that you pause the video and write down what you have. So right now, I'm going to make sure you have pencil and paper, and just pause the video for a minute if you don't have it. And you're going to work along. We're just going to look at one problem, okay? And I want you to work it along with me. Okay, our problem today is 5y plus 2, and then parentheses, 1 minus y, and then close up the parentheses, equals 2, and then a new set of parentheses, 2y minus 1. Okay, so pause the video if you need to and make sure you copy this equation down. All right, so let's solve this equation together. So we'll draw our fence here. And that's step number 2. Step number 1, remember, is always copy down the equation, the problem, exactly it is in your book or on the test. And then we'll draw our fence. And now I notice we have a couple of parentheses. We have some here, and then we have some over there too. So we want to get rid of those parentheses. And I also noticed that this number here is close and this 2 over here is close. So that means we need to use the distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. So how do we do that? Well, it's going to be 2 times 1 and then 2 times negative y. So that's going to equal 2 minus 2y, okay? And then we'll bring down this 5y over here, all right? And then it was a positive 2. Okay, so notice how we got rid of the parentheses. So we're getting closer to our answer. Over here, it's the same deal. We got to distribute, just like a teacher distributes the tests. She's got a real small class, only 2 students, but 2 times 2 is 4. So we don't need that 2 anymore. So 2 times 2 is 4, 2y is 4y, and then 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. All right, there we go. Now you've noticed what we've done. We've got rid of our parentheses, so we're doing great. We're working down to y equals an answer. Now over here, I noticed that we have a 5y and a negative 2y. So we can combine those into 3y. Now, how did I get 3y? Well, all we need to do when we have these 2 terms, let me write it over here on the side in a different color. We have 5y, and we're going to combine it with a negative 2y. So it's just like arithmetic, although we try to think algebraically. All we need to worry about in these, when the letters are the same, is just worry about the numbers. So 5 take away 2 is 3. And the letter, the variable, the letter just kind of goes along for the ride. So that's y. So these are gone. We don't have to worry about those anymore on this side. And we're left with plus 2. Now this equals, over here we don't need to do anything yet. That equals 4y minus 2. All right, now we have an equation like we worked on in a previous video. We have letters on both sides and numbers on both sides. So we want to bring our letters together and our numbers together. So what we'll do is we will take I always like letters on the left. So we're going to take this 4y here and we're going to bring it over to this side. Okay, so when it jumps the fence, it's going to be a negative 4y. And we're going to do a double jump here. And now I'm going to bring this 2y here. We're going to bring this positive 2, and it's going to jump the fence over here. And when it jumps, it's going to become a negative 2. Okay, so this 4 went over here, we can get rid of it there. And this 2 jumped over here, so we can get rid of it there. Okay, all kind of in one step, sort of. So what do we have over here? I'm going to draw a line just so to keep it organized a little bit. Now, what's 3y minus 4y? Well, don't worry about the letters, just think about the numbers. The letters are the same, so we can combine them. So 3 take away 4, well, that's backwards, right? It should be 4 take away 3. Well, what's 4 take away 3? That's 1. But because it's backwards, that means it's a negative. So it's going to be a negative 1y equals, now what's negative 2 minus 2? Well, that's negative 4. Okay, so now we have, this happens quite a bit in algebra. Sometimes you'll end up with a negative variable, a negative letter, and your answer over here. Well, it's really easy to switch. All we need to do is multiply the whole thing by negative 1. I'll put the negative 1 on this side too, so we don't forget. And of course, a negative times a negative is a positive, so negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Or we can just drop the 1 and just leaves us with a positive y. And then negative 4 times negative 1, well, 4 times 1 is 4, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So we can just write down 4. And that right there is our final answer. Okay, now what I want you to do is look at this video more than once if you need to. And the way to learn this, because remember, all these tests and stuff, exercises, it's going to be problems similar to this. All they do is change the numbers. You need to learn and be comfortable with the technique. So to do that, it's just like anything you do in life, whether it's sports or music or dancing or anything. It's awkward the first few times, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, and it becomes easier and second nature. So it's not that different in mathematics. I want you to do the same problem over and over. Well, I don't know, maybe 5, 10, a dozen times. It doesn't have to be like all at once, but you should do it over and over, and that's going to sink it into your brain. These techniques. I try to include almost every technique there is. So just do the same problem over and over and over again until you get comfortable. You don't have to look at your notes. You don't have to look at the video. And then when test time comes around, you're going to be familiar with the techniques. All right, that's all for today. Give it a try, and we'll see you next time.